Hi, guys. I hope you're doing great. And I am very excited to welcome you to the first ever video on my YouTube channel. So, let's get started. Honestly, I wanted to start a YouTube channel for a very long time, but I was scared because social anxiety and I am afraid of people's judgment. But I came to the conclusion that who cares? Everyone can do what they want and whatever. Let people think whatever they want to think because they will do it either way. So that is how we're here, I guess. And this first episode, I would like it to be our podcast episode. I love yapping and I feel like it's the most natural video for me to start with. And I hope you will love it. So let's get started. So this episode is gonna be the reality of being a girl in your 20s. How it is messy, how it is. Whoa! Toffee, don't mind her. She's getting her zoomies. Coming back to it. How it is confusing, how it is lonely, but how it is also extremely freeing and exciting. And I feel like it is a very important topic to discuss. So I would also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. So let's go. So I don't know about you guys, but to be honest, when I was growing up, I always heard that, oh my god, when you're gonna turn 20, it's gonna be the best time of your life. You're gonna be free. You're gonna know what you're doing with your life. It's gonna be an amazing experience. And to be honest, it is an amazing experience. Don't get me wrong. It really is really amazing, but also it's very confusing and very lonely. And not everything goes how everyone tells you it will go, if you know what I mean. Because when I was a kid, everyone said, oh my god, you're gonna live alone. You're gonna have your career kind of figured out. You're gonna have your studies figured out. You're gonna have probably a partner. You're gonna be starting a family soon. It's a beautiful time. It is a beautiful time, but it definitely does not look like that to most of us. At least for me. For me, lately, all of this was all over the place. I swear to God. It was all over the freaking place, and it still is all over the freaking place, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So, how my 20s started. Maybe let's go there. I moved away from my parents, so that checks out of the list of what I was told will happen. I moved away. I didn't move to a different country. A lot of my friends did move to a different country, but I moved to a different city that is around 3 hours away by train. I am originally from Warsaw in Poland, but I moved to Gdańsk. I moved to the seaside because I love the sea, and that the sea is connected to my job as well, but we're gonna get into that later. I moved because I wanted to start university here, and I did. I majored in environmental science, but after 4 months, I dropped out because I realized that although I love the sea, although I love diving because I am a diver and that is also my job, I didn't feel like it is what I imagined it will be, if you know what I mean. It didn't really fill the void that I thought it will fill. So I dropped it. And now I don't go to university. I still live alone here in Gdańsk, 3 hours away from my parents, which is amazing. I love it. Although, don't get me wrong, I love my parents very much as well. But I like the freedom of living alone. But I'm gonna be starting a new major in October. So right now I just focus on my work, and that's okay as well. I feel like, okay, for me, when I dropped out, my thought process was, oh my god, what everyone will think. I'm such a failure. Since I was like 12 years old, I was supposed to be this great kid that's gonna study something big like medicine or law. And I ended up studying environmental sciences, which I also, at the back of my head, I was like, oh my god, you're such a fucking failure. But I was like, okay, but at least you're studying something. And now that I dropped out, I am like, Jesus fucking Christ, you are a failure. But then I reminded myself that your 20s are supposed to be about making the right choices and the wrong choices. And I made the wrong choice. And now I am kind of bearing the consequences of it, but kind of also not. And that's okay. Your 20s are to make the errors. That's what the 20s are, to be honest, for. Because everyone is like, oh my god, you're such an adult now. You're not an adult. You're a fucking kid. Your brain is not fully developed yet. You're gonna be a full adult when you turn 25. So don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. Making errors is natural and it's needed in life, because if we would do everything perfect in our lives, how the fuck would we learn? We wouldn't. We would stay the same our whole entire lives, and that is definitely not the point. Okay, so let's start more in depth with the confusing part of your 20s. Like, sorry if it's been all over the place since the beginning, but that is how my brain works, unfortunately, so it's gonna be a little bit messy. But about the confusing part, I feel like nobody knows what they are freaking doing when they are in their 20s. And when you see those perfect girls on social media that are clean girls that wake up at 5 a.m., study, then go do some Pilates or yoga, then go to uni, then study for 10 hours, then cook at home, make meal, and then they walk their dog, and then they go to the gym, and then they sleep still for 10 hours and wake up beautiful. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. Like, that is freaking bullshit. Like, most things on social media are bullshit, don't get me wrong. Social media is another topic that I feel makes our 20s even more confusing, because we see those perfect lives or people, and then we look at our life, we look at the fucking dirty kitchen, at the freaking dirty bathroom, at the ton of undone homework from university, and lack of boyfriend, lack of girlfriend, lack of real purpose in life, and then we think, what the fuck is wrong with me? But honestly, there is nothing wrong with you. What is wrong is what's wrong is what those people are portraying, because they are portraying this to make them feel better about themselves and make them feel better about the fact that they themselves really don't know what they are doing. So never believe what you see on freaking social media, because that's not the freaking point. We're supposed to live our life not for social media, for what we do, for the present. We're supposed to be messy, make mistakes, go out with our friends, don't have everything figured out perfectly. Don't wake up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym and then clean the whole house and then I don't know what else, like, really, because I could never, and I would never even try to fake it. But yeah, like, social media is just like a highlight reel in our lives. I feel like it's not real. It's what we want to be real. But also, should we really want our lives to be perfect? It would be kind of boring. Like, if you could not be able to make any mistakes, then I feel like it would be kind of a simulation, like a fucking game where nothing really makes sense, because by making mistakes, you also learn shit about yourself. And when you don't make mistakes, and how the fuck are you supposed to get to know you? You know what I mean? Okay, but sailing a little bit back more to the confusing part. For me, my 20s are very much confusing due to the fact that since I was 15, I was constantly dating. If you know what I mean. Like, constantly. It was back to back. One boyfriend went, another one came, and I was in a relationship not so long ago, actually. I finished my last relationship around 6 months ago, and I'm not planning to get into any new relationship anytime soon, to be honest. Like, being single right now is very liberating, very freeing, and it makes me realize who I really am. And you can ask me, oh my god, Domi, but how the fuck do you not know who you are? Like, you had so many years to figure it out. Like, yeah, I had many years, that's true, but they were taken over by other people. That's the problem. Because at 15, I feel like it's the age where you actually start caring about deeper things. Maybe you actually start caring on exploring deeper topics, exploring yourself. But since I was 15, I had a boyfriend, and my time was always occupied by someone else. My time was always accommodated to someone else. My time wasn't never really mine. I was manipulated, used, and how the hell was I supposed to really, like, sit down, think, and be like, oh my god, who am I? Like, what do I want? I didn't have time to do that. And that is why being single is very important. You have to have a period of your life when you are single for at least a year, I would say, because you need to be able to sit with yourself in silence, be comfortable with it, and be able to know who you truly are and what you truly want. It cannot be dictated by other people, by other people's needs, by other people's wants. And that's what happens in relationships nowadays. People dictate each other. People dictate what they want from each other, and that's unhealthy. Because if I'm in a relationship, why the fuck am I supposed to accommodate 100% to the other person? And why does the other person tells me what to do? And why does the other person does not want to support what I love, what I want? Why do they not ask about what I want? You know what I mean? Like, if you have a healthy relationship, it's supposed to be freeing. It's supposed to feel freeing. It's not supposed to tie your legs, tie your hands behind your back. No, that's not the freaking point. Because your partner is supposed to give you the support. He's supposed to be excited with you. You know what I mean? He's supposed to want the best things for you. He's supposed to want you to follow your dreams, your passions, to evolve in your job. Not be like, oh my God, I don't like that you're working. It's taking up so much time. Like, you have no time for me. Like, and that's not the point, because you're always supposed to be with me. You're always supposed to doing what I want. No. Hell the fuck no. If you're in a relationship that sounds like that, or if you were in a relationship that sounds like that, congrats that you're not longer, but if you are still in such a relationship, get the fuck out. Because it's making you miserable. I can guarantee you. Like, maybe you don't realize it, but you are slowly dying inside, and that's not what's supposed to be happening. You're supposed to be growing inside. Like, that's it. You're supposed to be growing. And you're supposed to be growing no matter what it takes. If it takes to break up with your partner, throw them away. Throw them away. Because you will not be able to change them, honey. If you think that you're gonna change him or her or whoever you're dating, you're not, okay? Person can change to an extent. But if they are controlling, if they don't wanna coexist with you in peace, you're not gonna change that. There's no changing that, unfortunately. And I learned that the hard way. So choose yourself, please. Don't choose to water a dying plant when you can water a plant that you know that will live on for years. Why waste water on a dying plant? You know, and that is what I realized. Why the fuck am I wasting my energy on a relationship that's gonna die sooner or later, when I could be focusing my relationship on a relationship that will grow? And the relationship I have in mind is a relationship with myself. Another part that is very confusing to me is that I would say that it's kind of connected with the confusing part and with the lonely part that we're going to be talking about. I mean, the confusing part we're already talking about. But I have a job, how I mentioned. I am a dive master. Dive master is basically an instructor, a diving instructor. I Jesus Christ. I teach people how to scuba dive. And I love this job. I have been a diver for 4 years now. And this job gives me freedom and pure happiness. It is truly my passion, this job. And that's also... Whoa, don't mind my girl. Wait. Toffee baby, don't do that. And I love my job, how I said. It's amazing. It's truly the best thing that happened to me for many years now. But it's also confusing and also makes me feel kind of lonely. Because, don't get me wrong, I am surrounded by amazing people. But the problem is that they are way older than me. And you mean like, oh, way older? What do you mean? Like 5, 10 years? No, baby. I mean 20 plus years, 20, 30 years. Because our average client in the diving industry is a man, 40 plus, that probably drives a fancy car like a Mercedes or a BMW and owns his own business. That is our average client. There is no woman, which is very sad. I am purely surrounded by older men, and it is confusing because intellectually I feel like we're on the same level. Maybe that is delusional, but I feel like we are on the same level because compared to all the boys, the kiddos my age, like the kiddos never wanted to listen to me. They never were interested in a book that I'm reading or the movie that I watched or what I think on a certain geopolitical topic or what I think about a certain philosopher. These are the topics that I enjoy. Like this is what I can discuss and have fun with it. But they never ask about those things. They were never interested in those things. They were always like, "Oh my god, it's so boring. Oh my god, are you 30?" And I was like, "No, I just like being intellectually stimulated, and I feel like it's normal and like it's healthy, but okay, if you don't get it, then you don't get it." But the people that are the 20 or 30 years older than me, they love those topics. They want to discuss them. They are interested in what I read and what I watched and what I think. And that kind of makes you feel validated in kind of an unhealthy way because you shouldn't feel validated by a man that could be your father. And I realize that. But also, I'm an adult. Although not really. I wouldn't consider myself a full adult yet. But I am an adult according to the law and according to everything, according to life. And they are adults as well. And what is wrong with having adult friends? But then you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, what the fuck? Like, is it normal that I am friends with a person that could be my father? Sometimes he could be my father fucking twice. And then you are starting to think, is it weird? Is it creepy? Should I be friends with them? And that kind of confuses you. And then you start distancing yourself, although you enjoy the company of those people because you're scared. You're scared something inappropriate will happen. And that's valid. I feel like that's very valid. But also then you think about all the age gap relationships that you see. And that you know even IRL in your family or even in your friend's family, and they work very well and they are happy. They are happier than people who are only 5 years apart. And then you start considering, if we're on the same intellectual level, should I try? But then you're like, no, hell the fuck no, I should not try because it's fucking disgusting. So that's what kind of makes me confused and kind of makes me lonely. Because you may ask why lonely? Lonely because I kind of distance myself. Although I work with them on a daily basis, I distance myself. Because I build a wall just because I'm confused if it's okay. And I feel like that's also a very natural part of being in your 20s, considering is something okay or is something wrong. And for me, there's not really like a rule, a general rule to figure out if something is right or wrong. It really depends on the person and how they feel and on their comfort levels, on their boundaries levels. And for me, it's okay to an extent. That's why I'm confused about it, if you know what I mean. Maybe you had a similar situation. If you did, let me know how you figured it out. But right now, I have no clue how to figure this out. Now let's get more into the lonely part. Because we had some parts of the lonely threaded through the things that we said before, but let's get into it more deeper. So, I lived in one place my whole entire life. I never moved. When I was 3 months old, my parents brought me home. And when I was 19, when I moved out, that's the place I left. I never lived in a different place. I never knew a different place. My home was always my home. I had one home. And then I moved out. Not only I changed the home, I also changed the city. I left all my friends behind. I left everything I know behind. I left my previous jobs behind. And it was tough. I thought it's not really gonna be that tough because in general, I have an issue with feeling like I belong. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my house, but I don't feel like it's my home, if you know what I mean. We're gonna get into that in a different episode because I have a whole bunch of stuff to say about that topic, the feeling of belonging and the feeling that some place is your home. But that we're not gonna get into that right now. But coming back, it was very difficult, very confusing. I thought I'm not gonna take it as hard as I took it. Like at the beginning, I was definitely crying. I was definitely missing my old room. I was definitely missing all of my friends that I could just call up and they would just show up at my doorstep. Or they sometimes would just show up without giving me any notice before that. And I loved that. I loved that. Like it was my place after all. To an extent, it was my place. And then I lost all of it. I mean, I didn't really lose it because I can still go back. And when I'm back visiting my parents, I can meet all of those people, go to all the places that I love. But still, on daily basis, I lost it. And I didn't take it lightly. Till today, I would say I feel lonely, although I am surrounded by many people. But again, the issue with the people I'm surrounded by are way older people, but also my university friends. But I don't go to classes on daily basis anymore because I did drop out. So when they have time, they see me, but it's not really regular. It's more spontaneous, I would say. But also, like, I have one very good friend. It's my diving partner. Because if you know even a little bit about diving, you know that we never dive alone. We have a person called our partner, our dive buddy. And I have a dive buddy. I met him 6 months ago. He is 20 years older than me, on the dot, 20 years older than me. But we built this amazing partnership, I would say. And you can be like, oh my God, then it's like a romantic No. I distinguish 3 levels of a relationship, you know? And for me, a relationship doesn't always mean a romantic relationship, because you have a relationship with your father, you have a relationship with your friend, you have a relationship with your diving partner. But I distinguish 3 different, I would say, names or levels of a connection that you have with a person. First of all, you have a friendship. Second of all, you have a partnership. And third of all, you have a relationship. And friendship is platonic. Relationship can be platonic because you call different things relationship. But here, for the sake of this, I would say that relationship is romantic. And then you have a partnership. A partnership is in between the platonic and romantic relationship. And what I mean by that is that it can be either romantic or it can be either platonic. And you're like, yeah, so basically like a relationship. Not really, because a partnership, I would say, is a level above friendship. But I don't mean anything in a romantic way. I just mean it's a bigger bond, a stronger bond than you have with your friend. With your partner, you have a deeper bond. And you can be like, oh, but how do you build a partnership? Well, we're called the partners for a reason. We dive together. We trust ourselves underwater. I trust him fully with my life. And you can be like, oh my God, that's being dramatic. No, because when you dive, you can die. One mistake and you can be gone. And that's why you have a partner. Because you trust your partner with your life, that they will be able to save you at any given moment, no matter what happens. And I trust him, and he trusts me. And we just get along so well. Like, we have so many inside jokes. He gets my humor, I get his humor. We feel free to talk about our problems and everything is so good between us that he's definitely my partner. He's my partner. And there's no negotiating that. But also, so when I'm with him, I definitely don't feel lonely at all because we have so much freaking fun. But I also don't see him that often because, you know, he has his own responsibilities. He could be my father, like he has his life. But I know that I can depend on him no matter what. If I would call him right now, he would come. Like, if I would call him and tell him I am in trouble or I need his help with, I don't know, moving the freaking couch, he would be here. Although I know he's busy today, but he would come. And that is what a partnership is called. Sometimes you can call your partner or your friend and be like, oh my God, can you come? I need help. And they will be like, oh my God, what happened? Is it something really bad? No, I just need to move the couch. And they will be, oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the game with the boys. Or, oh, I'm shopping. Sorry, maybe later. And your partner, if your partner is really your partner, he will be like, hell the fuck yeah, I will be there in 20. That is how I do That is how cool, my God, I have no clue how to say this word. That is how I see partnership. That is how I see a partnership. And that is how it differs from a relationship and from a friendship. I would say partnership is the strongest one out of all the three. And I feel like people think that loneliness feels very dramatic. And I wouldn't say so. Loneliness doesn't really feel dramatic. It's sometimes just quiet moments in your house of you being alone with yourself and thinking about everything that happened. And in those moments, you kind of realize that you are in this life on your own. And I feel like those moments are very necessary and very, very normal, especially in your 20s. And I feel like they are very much needed. Like, if they were not here, I feel like we would not self reflect as much. That's why I think that loneliness is also healthy. Loneliness is healthy. You cannot be constantly surrounded by people, but also loneliness, if it's taken too far, it's definitely unhealthy because we're humans. We are animals and we need company. Animals need company. Rats, for example. I have 11. They love each other, but also they hate each other. And I feel like it is a perfect representation of a human relationship and how loneliness affects it. That if you spend too much time with someone, you're starting to slowly get sick of them and you just want to be on your own, have time to think, have time to breathe. And then if you don't see them for an extremely long time, you start missing them and you start looking for them and you realize that you need company to an extent. And this is a realization that is very important for every one of us to make, because everyone needs a different extent of loneliness and a different extent of having company, and it's important to know how much you need. And the last biggest part of your 20s, I would say, is the pressure. Oh man, the pressure, really, like, it's crazy. Like, society tells us that we have to have everything figured out by the time you're 20. That you have to have a career, that you have to have your degree, that you have to have a partner, that you have had lived your life, traveled, found love, had kids, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe the had kids part I went a little bit too far, but you need to start thinking about kids because the biological clock is ticking. And that's just crazy because every person has a different timeline. I love to say that. Like, everyone has a different timeline. Like, someone goes to university when they are 17, sometimes when they are 19, and some people go to university when they're 25 or even 32, and that's completely fine. Some people start a family by accident when they are 15. Some people start a family when they are 20, and some people start a family when they are 34. And that is completely normal. There's no point to fall under the pressure that the society tries to throw up on us. Really, there's no point. Because, you see those people who are absolute geniuses who, I don't know, graduated high school when they were 15, went to med school when they were 17, and graduated med school when they were 25, and they're an attending doctor already at 25, and they are amazing. They have an amazing career. They have a fiance. They have their own house. They have all the student loans paid off. But that's not normal. Because what's the point of rushing in your life? We have 100 years to live. If you rush everything, what will you be doing? Like, I feel like that is important to consider. Because if you rush everything, then what will you be doing for the rest of the 70 years that you have left? You know what I mean? You will have the career already by 25. And what then? You will just do it. And that's all you will do. There's no point. Like, relax. We have time. Graduate by 18. Go to uni by 19. Graduate the uni by 20 something. Go on to med school, vet school, whatever you want to do. Graduate that by 30. Start your real career by 30. and then enjoy life. Like, don't try to do everything at once, like to achieve all of your goals overnight, because that's really not the point. And how I mentioned, social media makes stuff like that even worse, because you see those perfect people that are your age, they're engaged, traveling, buying a house, starting a family, and then you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And sweetheart, you're not doing anything wrong. Those people, I would say, are doing things wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to hate. Really. I'm happy for you. You got engaged. Congratulations. You had a baby. Congratulations. You bought a house. Congrats. I'm happy for you. But I feel like doing such big moves when you are so young and when you still don't really know yourself enough are more of mistakes than achievements. But that's just my opinion. Don't come for me. That is just what I think. I think that it is more important to first get to know yourself as much as you can, realize what you want from life, and then start making big moves like having a baby, having a marriage, having a house together. Because before you know yourself truly, it's very risky to make such decisions, because then you might be stuck in a marriage, and then in 10 years you might realize, oh my god, I'm only 30. I never wanted this. I never wanted to waste all my young years on being a wife and a mother, and now it's too late. Now you cannot undo it. Now your 20s are out of the window. Like, live first. Travel first. Like, book the $20 flights and sleep on the freaking beach during the night. Escape by train to another city with a man that you just, okay, no, that's how you get killed. With your friends, and I don't know, like, make your dreams come true. That's what I'm trying to say, you know? Make your fucking dreams come true, no matter how crazy they are. You wanna climb Mount Everest? Do it. Train. Climb the fucking Mount Everest. Don't get a wife instead. Like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, you wanna start a business? Start the fucking business. It's gonna fail? Oh my god, life. You're gonna learn from your mistakes. Then when you start your other business, you will know what you did wrong. And not do the mistake again. Like, you know what I mean? Learn. Make the mistakes. Make your dreams come true. Regret what you did. Like, it's very important. It's really, really important to do that. Like, don't skip over. Don't play house. Don't play adult when you're only 20. And okay, I'm being so enthusiastic, but sometimes I get under the pressure as well, because, you know, I work with people that are much older than me, and I look at them, I look at the fact that they have all of their careers already figured out, that they have their own families, they're married, engaged, they have their houses, they have cute little children, although I don't like children, but they are cute sometimes. And then I think what I have, and then I realize that I have a rented flat in the city center, though, which some of them cannot relate to. Okay, just kidding. You know, and then I realized that I really have nothing yet, but that's okay. Because, bitch, I'm not even 20, to be honest. This whole podcast is kind of a little bit not true, because I'm gonna be 20 in April. But I feel like I know enough to voice what I wanna say. But yeah, coming back, then I realized that's, you know, I have nothing, but that's alright. Because it's too early for me to have everything. It would be alarming if I had a husband at this age. It would be alarming if I had a kid at this age. And some people wanna start a family very early. But again, I said what I said. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think it's a mistake. But everyone do what they feel like they wanna do. And that's how it's supposed to work. But summarizing the whole pressure thing, like, let me just say this. Like, me personally, I moved cities. I'm changing majors. I changed my job. So there's nothing wrong with the fact that I have no clue what I'm doing yet, and that I don't have everything figured out. That's normal, especially that some people figure out life at 22 and some people figure out life at 32, and that's completely okay. If you're 32 watching this and you don't have a husband, wife, child, children, a house, a career, it's normal. That's okay. You have your own timeline. And don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like a fucking failure, because you're not a failure. You're never a fucking failure. Remember, we are never a freaking failure. When someone tells you you're a failure, tell them they're a fucking failure for telling you that, because no one is really a failure. No matter what happens in life, no matter how many mistakes they make, no matter if those mistakes are really bad or really nothing, they shape us. They shape us as people. And that is very important, to let life shape us and to let ourselves be shaped. Because some people are like, oh my God, I cannot make any. Relax, you can. That's the point. Shape yourself. Let yourself to be shaped by life. It's very important. It gives you knowledge. It makes you wiser. It allows you to realize things that you have never realized before. And it makes you evolve as a person. It makes you grow, which is the point, which is the whole point, growing. My favorite thing that I heard from my parents is that my 20s are supposed to be a trial and error decade. Those 10 years of your life are supposed to be trial and error. And I am saying this here because I want everyone to hear it. Your 20s are supposed to be trial and error, a decade of fucking trials and errors. And that's normal. And that is how it's supposed to be. So never forget this. Trials and fucking errors. Okay, and the last part for today's episode is that 20s are also exciting. There are also many exciting things. Let's not forget about that. Like, you can try new things. You can finally be free. You can finally not be controlled by your parents, your partners, or whatever. You can change careers, explore different parts of the world. You can grow. You can explore life in ways you didn't really know you can explore your life. And that is very important. And I'm doing this right now. And although I was sad to an extent that I moved, and I was sad that I was single at the beginning, because it was something completely new to me and completely terrifying, because I lost like a person to rely on. I am exploring my life right now in ways that I never imagined I would be able to explore it. I am traveling. I'm traveling so fucking much. I am working. I'm doing what I love. And it's very freeing. It's really, really freeing to be able to do all of this, especially when you didn't realize you could do it. Like, and there was literally nothing stopping you to do it before. It was only you. Like, that's another thing. Like, never stop yourself, because sometimes your biggest enemy is you. And you don't even realize it. And you have to go years and years. And then suddenly, after all of those years, you realize, damn, all this time along, it was me. It was freaking me. I was stopping myself. I didn't. And because of that, I didn't achieve this, and that. I didn't do this, and that. And what the fuck was wrong with me? So remember, sometimes when you think that something else is stopping you, take a stop, think, relax, ask yourself a question. Is it me, or is it really the outside world? Because sometimes it is really you. And sometimes I know it hurts to realize that it's you and not the outside world, because it's easier to live with the fact that you are not able to do something because of things that you cannot control. But sometimes it really is just you, and you can control yourself. And if you think that you can't, you can learn how to control yourself. And now, after years of constant relationships, I am finally focusing on myself. I am finally getting the chance to figure out what I truly want, who I truly am. And I am learning independence in a way that I thought I would never do, to be honest. And even though my life is pretty messy and pretty chaotic right now, that's what makes it really fun. That's what makes it fun. Like, honestly, that's what makes it fun. I like it. I like the chaos. I like the confusion, to be honest. And there is room for mistakes. There is room for my adventures, for my discovery, and for my dreams. Finally, there is place for those things. And I am so grateful for that. I am really grateful for that. And honestly, all those things that I said makes your 20s the most powerful time of your freaking life. You can be like, oh, really? Does it? And I'm like, I think, yeah. I think 20s are the most powerful time of your life, because that is when you truly discover yourself, discover the world, and shape yourself. And because after you shape yourself, what is there left? Being a CEO, yeah, oh yeah, power, yeah, woohoo. The most powerful thing you can do is make your dreams come true, shape yourself, discover yourself, and 20s are the time to do so. That's why it's very important to use them wisely and to make the mistakes, regret the things that you did, but never forget that all of this always happens for a reason. Okay, and finish off with a bang. I have a list of 6 things I wish I was told or I knew earlier, and I'm gonna read them to you so you know them. So, if I could go back and give myself advice, it would be this. So 1 is stop comparing yourself to others. Social media is a highlight reel, how I mentioned before. It is not fucking real life. Forget about it. What you see on social media, fake, fake, fake. Okay? What you're doing is real. What they are doing is fake. So, what you're doing is automatically better. Second, outgrowing people is normal. Friendships and relationships change, and that is completely okay. And I didn't really discuss it before, maybe I should, but I'm gonna get a little bit more in detail right now about it. That if your relationship ends, if your friendship ends, it's completely normal and it's completely natural. There's nothing wrong with it, because there's no point to, how I said before, water a plant that you know it's gonna die. And there's no point of doing so, because if you love each other truly, and I mean platonically or not platonically, why would you want to stop each other? If someone outgrows, if someone's goals changes, there's no point of you trying to hold them back, and vice versa. You just have to learn how to let go. Sometimes it hurts, I know, but at the end of the day, it's better for both of you. Okay, so, and number 4 is experiment and take fucking risks. Your 20s are about trial and error, how I said multiple times before. Try different paths, jobs, hobbies, and freaking relationships. Don't be scared to experiment. Number 5, be kind to yourself. Messiness is expected. Confusion, loneliness, mistakes, they are all part of your growth. Never forget this, please. And the last one is embrace being single. After years of back-to-back relationships, being alone is your chance to really grow, reflect, and enjoy your own fucking company. Hell the fuck yeah. Remember about those. Always when you fear, if you feel down, remember about those 6 points, because they are very important in your 20s. And sometimes they might make you feel a little bit better about yourself and about what's going on. So, for today, that would be it, guys. I am very happy that we had a chance to discuss this. I feel very happy that I completed recording my first ever episode for my YouTube channel that I wanted to do for years. So yeah, these are my 20s. Confusing, messy, but also very empowering. And I hope that you can relate to an extent. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and see you in the next one. Bye!